Well, welcome in. If you're new, welcome. I'm Lynn the Crafty Cook. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going to make a cracker pie. I've heard it called cracker pie, Ritz cracker pie. Um, I used to just call it Piccadilly pie because we had a cafeteria locally called the Piccadilly, and they made this pie, and it's the only place you could get it. It's the only place I ever ate it until I finally found a recipe for it. I love it. It's so light and airy, and it's just really, really good. It doesn't take a whole lot of ingredients. Most of what you probably have on hand at any given time. So if you need something real quick and don't have time to run to the store to get special ingredients, you probably got what you need to make this pie. So we're going to get started. First, I'd like to ask you to give me a big thumbs up on my videos. It really helps. And subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss a video. We're going through a series about my son who has autism. This is April, and April is Autism Awareness Month. So this will be video number 4, I believe, about his story. And so I'll get you started here, and then we'll come back and I'll give you a little bit more about his story. And we'll kind of pick up where we left off. We brought him home from the inpatient facility that he was at. So we'll pick that up here in a minute. But subscribe, share the videos everywhere that you can, so other people get to see them. And leave me some comments, okay? Now with that out of the way, we're going to get started on our cracker pie. We need 3 egg whites. So we're going to separate us 3 eggs. Y'all, I got out my bowls, but I do see I forgot something. I forgot baking powder. So I do have to go back to the cabinet. I was trying so hard this time. I looked and looked at this, and I you know me, just not too good at that. Okay. But y'all wouldn't know what to do if you didn't have to wander about the kitchen, would you? I wouldn't know how to act if you didn't have to wander about the kitchen with me. All right, there's 1 egg white. I'm going to put these in our big mixer bowl because we will beat these in the big mixer, okay? And there's 2 egg whites. Let me get out the shells, put them in the garbage bowl. There's 2 egg whites. And there's 3 egg whites. 3 egg whites right in there. There we go. All right, now then, it calls for, I'm going to set these egg yolks back there out of the way. I'll use those in something else. Put that in the sink. All right, let's see. We need 12 crushed crackers. That's what it says. I've heard it called Ritz cracker pie. You can use Ritz crackers. You can use club crackers. You can use just plain soda crackers. I'm using just plain soda crackers. And these are salted tops. Doesn't really matter. So we've got to get 12. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 13. We're just going to go with it. And you just crush them up. Just like this. Just crush them up. Make cracker crumbs out of them. That's what we're doing. Let's go make cracker crumbs. And you're saying, how on earth is she making a pie out of crackers? Well, I'm telling y'all, this is the best pie. And you can serve it with whipped cream on top. But it's real light and airy. It's kind of like a meringue. It's a crustless pie. So if you want to make it gluten-free, use gluten-free crackers. Because it is a crustless pie. Or I have made it with a crust. Either way is fine. Trying to follow just the recipe that I have here. But I do like to make it in a crust. And I believe the one that they used to make was in a crust. Okay. I think I just had a light go out. I did. I just had some lights go off. That's weird. Must have a ghost, you all. You think that this house is haunted that we're in? We've got a ghost. Let me see if these lights come back on. Well, there they are. What do you know about that? Son just turned those lights off. I think I have a ghost. Hope it's friendly. I do. All right, there's our cracker crumbs. See, we got all those cracker crumbs. We'll set those back out of the way. It calls for a cup of chopped nuts. Put those back there out of the way. And I'm going to use pecans, any kind of nuts I suppose you could use. I'm just going to use pecans. I've also got almonds. I guess you could combine whatever. Different kinds of nuts. Make a mixed nut pie, I suppose you could. Don't see why not. So let's chop us up some pecans. That's got a lid. Just gonna lay some pecans on there just like that. All right, there it went down that time. Let's just try a few at a time instead of so many. Well, for some reason these pecans are tough or something. There, I'm not getting up on it high enough, I guess, to crush them down. I'm a little short girl, and I need to be a tall girl, don't I? I need to be a tall girl. See, if I get up on it, it will crush. All right, let's see how many we've got. See if we've got a cup. Yeah, I don't believe we do. Nope, we've only got about a half cup, so we've got to keep chopping. Keep chopping. I should have gotten out the other chopper, shouldn't I? That's not wanting to stay. Okay. But we don't have anything else to do right now, do we? But chop a few pecans. Well, I could start my story while I'm chopping these pecans, couldn't I? We brought him home, like I said in our last video, a totally different kid. He went back to middle school. He was doing good. No problems, no issues. He was a good kid. Just, you couldn't have asked for a better kid than what we had, really. I mean, he was really a good child. We brought him home. Our stories, like I said, we have a lot. So anyway, he was in school, doing well. He hadn't been home but just a couple of months until he started having seizures. And I don't know if you all know this or not, 40% of people, and I don't just say children anymore because there's a lot of adults, 40% of people who are diagnosed with autism will also be diagnosed with a seizure disorder. Some it comes earlier in life than others, but a lot of them, the seizures come at puberty. I don't know why that is. I don't know what causes the seizures to come on at that point, unless it's just the changing of something in their bodies with the hormones and all that. But he started having seizures. So we had been down the road of aggression. You know, I told you all that in a previous video, that we had been down that road, and that we had to move our daughter out of the house. Well, at this point, we're all living back under one roof. Life is wonderful. He starts having seizures. He has the first one. I take him to the hospital. They say, well, we really can't do anything. we'll send him back home. Send him back home, said if he has another one, come back, and then we'll go from there. In the meantime, we saw our pediatrician, so, you know, he's like, well, can't really say what causes them, but, you know, if he has another one, we'll start him on some medication. So it's about a couple weeks later, and boom, another seizure. All right, so back to the hospital we go. They say, well, we could start some medication. Let me think just a minute. We had not started medication, but I had asked for an EEG to be done, just to get us a baseline kind of to go from. And they agreed. And so we had that done. I don't remember what day of the week it was, but like 2 days prior to this second seizure that he had. We're in the ER. And then while we're in the ER, his pediatrician called me and asked me how it was going. And I told him we're in the ER. He had another seizure. ER doctor was wonderful. She also communicated with our pediatrician at the time, and they together decided that there was a medication they thought would be the best for him. Well, the whole time I'm in the ER, all of this aggressive behavior is still very fresh to me. So I start Googling, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, but I find that this particular medication could cause aggressiveness. And I'm like, I really don't want to try this. I really don't want to go down this road with him. And they assured me that, you know, they really felt this was the best. And I said, okay, we'll try it. That was that was the summer months. Maybe July, August, possibly. I don't recall exactly. I just know it was in the summer months. And everything's going well. We're up to around Christmas time, okay? Everything's still going well. Christmas comes and goes. The day after Christmas, we had been out and about in town and started, we'd stopped and gotten us a burger at a local place. And he didn't eat all of his. I didn't know that. It was still in the back seat of the car. Well, on Sunday morning, we're up, ready. We're on our way to church, but we were going to go by and get him a biscuit on our way to church on Sunday morning. And my daughter says, Mama, he's eating this old hamburger. Well, mercy me, that had been 3 or 4 days prior. I'm like, I can't let him eat this hamburger that's been sitting in the back seat of this car for 3 days. You know, that's going to make him sick. So I took it and threw it out the window. Well, he went after his sister. Me being Mama went between them. And like I said earlier, in one of the very first ones, he was a biter. He bit me, bit my hand, took a chunk out of my hand. So needless to say, we did not get to church. We went to the ER. That sent me into surgery on my hand that evening. It just snowballed. So come Monday, my husband calls and says, we're not giving him any more of this medication. You can either change it, you can send us somewhere else. So instead of going, they had found us a pediatric neurologist that I was not real happy with, but it's my only option, okay? We didn't have any other options unless we traveled about 250 miles away. And I said, well, we'll go 250 miles away to find one because this is not, I'm not happy. And that's what I say, mamas, if you've got a child with special needs, don't settle and be satisfied with what you have in your area. I live in a pretty large metropolitan area. We have just about everything. but we don't have every kind of specialist you can have. So they sent us to Vanderbilt in Nashville. I found a pediatric neurologist that specialized in seizures and autism. And I said, that's who I want to see. Needless to say, they did not stay there long. They were there for a time and then they've moved on. I'll come back to that in my story. But anyway, we saw this new doctor and it was explained to me that you have a typical brain and then you have a brain with autism. And they said that your typical brain, this medication that he was on, works wonderfully. It really is a great medication. But your autism brain, it doesn't work as well. So she changed it. Everything went back. We were doing great again. But aggressiveness started to creep up on us again. Slowly, very slowly. I'm going to leave y'all right there. So you have to tune in the next video. I know, right. You have to tune into the next one. I'm going to leave you right there and we're going to finish this pie. But, so we're at Vanderbilt with a different neurologist and we've changed our medication. So right there's where I'm going to leave you. And we're going to see if we've got a cup of nuts now because I finished chopping some more nuts. I think we do. We should have a good cup of nuts here. Oh, yeah. We've got a cup, maybe just a few more. We'll get those out of our dish because we don't want that. All right, so there's our nuts. We've got our eggs. We need a cup of sugar. There it is. I've already measured it for y'all. Can you believe it? 12 crushed crackers, a cup of nuts, vanilla. We'll need a teaspoon. There's the vanilla and the teaspoon, and we need butter for our baking dish, okay? Now then, we're going to go over here to the mixer, beat our egg whites, okay? Carry y'all over here. Here we go. Here we go. Now I got to go back and get our other stuff, don't I? All right, y'all, hang out there for just a minute. Let me get everything brought over here, and then we'll finish up over here. All right. Can y'all see good? I believe we're good to go, aren't we? All right, here we go. We're going to put this in here. That's our whip. You know I like my guard. And I'm just going to start whipping these egg whites. Just whip, 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 whip. Let me get the recipe over here because I got to read it. I've made this thing several times, but I still have to read my recipe. Oh, I've got to put in my baking powder. Hold on, y'all. Pull y'all around here so you can still see down in there. Okay, now then. I needed how much? A half a teaspoon. Let me get the teaspoon or the half a teaspoon or whatever. Here's a half a teaspoon. Put that right down in there. There we go. I've made a mess. Y'all know I like to make messes. Now we're just going to whip this up. Let's see. Until they're stiff, okay? We got to beat them until they're stiff. Can y'all see in there good? You move y'all back just a little bit. Now I think you can. While that's beating, I'm going to get some butter for us to butter our dish here. Not here. I've got just, can y'all see what I'm doing? I've got just a little bit of butter. It's just softened butter. This is unsalted. But I'm just going to take this pastry brush and just butter this dish right here, just like this. Real good. Alright. Y'all could double this recipe. It'd be real easy to just double it if you wanted to. I got it buttered all the way around there real good. Alright, now then, we got our dish buttered. Set it over here to the side. Let's see, I believe it might be making peaks. I believe it is. Alright, now then, we gradually add our sugar. So I'm just going to start just kind of pouring it in there. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Just going to kind of pour this in. Just a little bit at a time. Move that just a little bit. What we're doing here is making meringues, you all. This is like a meringue pie. Okay. There's our cup of sugar. Now then, we got to add our nuts and our crackers and mix that in there. There's our nuts and there's our crackers. Okay. Now then, I'm just going to stir it. Okay. You see, I'm just stirring it all together. That's all you need to do right there is just stir it on low. All right, we got all that in there. Now then, I'll pull this off to get all that out of the middle there. Look at that, all that middle. Ooey gooey in the middle there. Perfecto. All right, I'm going to put that over here. Now then, I told y'all this was easy. It really is. That's all there is to it. Now then, push that back. Pull this over here so y'all can see this. There's my buttered pie pan, okay? Can y'all see? I hope you can. This right here, you just put it in this pie dish, just like this. Spread it around, just like this. Just like that. Okay? Tastes good. Egg whites. Love good cooked egg whites. They're delicious. Delicious. And it says to bake it for 20 minutes. And my experience is you have to bake it longer. You want it to really be dried out on top. You don't want it, because what will happen is it'll raise up. I'm going to turn you around so you can see me. It'll raise up. And then if the middle's not dried out good, it collapses back down in on itself. And you don't want that, because then your middle's kind of gooey. So I bake mine longer than 20 minutes, 30, 45 minutes sometimes, because I want it to be really dry. So I'll bring y'all back when it gets done, because I know y'all don't want to hear me jabber for another 30 or 45 minutes. So I'm going to turn y'all off and let it bake, clean up my kitchen, and I'll bring you back when it's done. I'll see y'all in a minute. Okay, y'all, here's our pie. Get in out of rain, you wild Indian. You gotta have some dry clothes. It started pouring rain. He's out there jumping up and down. That's about par for the course, isn't it? One of them in, one of them out. All right, here's our pie. It's sinking in the middle, you all. Every one I make does that. I wish they would not, but they do that. They kind of sink in the middle. Because you can see how it was all up here. But you know what? It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I'm going to let it cool here. See, it's got it sitting here on the stove. I'm going to let it cool. We're going to have it after supper tonight. And when I cut a piece, I'll show y'all what it looks like. Okay? But I wanted you to see it when it came out of the oven. And it baked for a good 45 minutes. So I know it's good and done. but they always fall in the middle. If you've ever made it, if you've ever made one of these and it did not fall in the middle, please tell me what you did differently, because I'd love to know how to keep it all puffed up there, okay? So leave me some comments and let me know if you've made it and how yours turned out, okay? I'll see you all in a little bit. Okay, y'all, we're back. We've had our dinner and everything. I've already served my pie, but y'all look at how light that pie is. It comes just right away from that dish. And look at the inside of it. Can y'all see the inside of this pie right here? It's just absolutely delicious. Next time I think I'll do a double recipe so it'll be thicker. But let me know if you've ever made it, if you have, if you liked it or not. So that's going to be all for this one. Remember, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and comment. And that'll be all for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.